Hello and happy Monday. This week's meeting was a quiet one. We sat together, allowing thoughts and feelings to circulate in silence for a good bit of time. I stirred the pot with some reflections from my current study of the Fourfold Way, a program of study originally created and pioneered by Angela Sarian. With some additions and adaptations, I'm offering to guide others in this program this year, so it is on my mind. Some links are below in case this piques your interest. Meanwhile, the wording of today's inquiry emerged from the offering of the warrior's watchwords from the Fourfold Way, which are showing up and choosing to be present. So, as we sat together, these words came together to reflect our group inquiry. Guidance for showing up and choosing to be present this week, finding transparency and honesty in assessing our own limitations of body and energy. In response, we received Hexagram 54, Gui Mei, the Marrying Maiden. This hexagram has no other name, and often it requires a little unpacking for people in our day and age. In terms of our inquiry and in terms of the image for hexagram 54, it can be useful to consider cultural context. The culture in which the yijing was created was hierarchical and patriarchal. It took for granted the existence of family structures that supported more than one wife, under the protection and care of one man. As such, the marrying maiden was the appellation for the second wife, or the third or the fourth or the fifth wife, for that matter. She had no power, no authority, and was subject to the existing situation that she was drafted into, usually with her older sister or relative. Her situation required her to be adaptable, graceful, and diplomatic, retaining her own beauty and talents without impinging on the existing hierarchy. In our times, this may seem a situation that would never occur, but to draw the parallel for more modern circumstances, this would be like coming in as a manager in a corporation where those above and below your position had been in the company for a much longer duration. Your new responsibilities would require you to interact with those who may know more about the company culture than you, even though you may have the more needed skills to implement your work. Such a situation requires a kind of inner strength and wisdom that allows you to get what you need to get your job done without losing the respect or friendship of those around you. To relate this to our inquiry, the advice from the oracle in this situation is not to lose your own clarity and conviction that such change, coming into a new family, a new job, a new home, is for the best if you can be patient and wait for the moment when your skills and talents are able to be put to use. This is the way you can respect both yourself and others in a situation not of your own making. In The Warrior's Way, Angela Sarian says this of the meaning of respect. The term respect comes from the Latin word respicere, not sure how to pronounce that, which means the willingness to look again. The warrior is willing to take a second look rather than remain stuck in a particular view of a situation or individual. When we are willing to look again, we extend respect. This allows us to stay open and flexible toward ourselves and others. With two changing lines, line 1 and line 4, this is a great lead-in to our becoming hexagram, hexagram 7. Sure, the army, legions or leading. I will talk about the changing lines in a moment, but it is significant to see that where we are led this week is to the hexagram that is explicit on how to lead, how to be a leader, particularly of ourselves, but also of others. True leadership comes from a natural alignment, you could say a natural hierarchy. Sky is above, earth is below, trees and people live in between. This is how things are. Things are always changing in the phenomenal world, but the relationship remains. Heaven above, earth below, humans in the middle. You could call that the right relationship, and the right leader for the moment is the one who is aware of where they are in relationship with others. The right leader does not assume authority for the sake of power, but takes the position of heaven if needed. Heaven holds the view, the larger view. Earth holds the particulars. Humans are the dialogue between the heaven and earth as contained by human form. We are each tasked with becoming the leaders of our own being, becoming our own authority in this model of self-cultivation. But this is not so we can lord it over others. Instead, it is so we can be the model of harmony, representing the balance between the vastness of view and the demand of the particulars that heaven and earth present. Each and every moment, these demands and constraints are changing. It is the task of each human to lead from the place of honesty and integrity, acknowledging one's own shadows or inferiors, one's weaknesses, as it were, while not abandoning one's strengths and talents. In a way, you could say that being second in command does not relieve you of your duty to be your basically good, whole self. This week's changing lines are encouragement, once again, to hold your seat amidst a situation that is well beyond your control. It will be best to make peace with having a secondary spot, a junior position, or being the second stringer. Though you may experience conflict, especially you may not approve or desire what is happening, but still your desire to speak out or compete. Instead, hold yourself with respect and integrity, knowing that you will choose the right time to step ahead when it appears. Time is the essential oil to support your leadership, to summon your courage and innate valor. Time is not a shy essential oil, itself having a distinctive sharp smell and being very quick to act. Time will support your willingness to stand up for yourself on a moment's notice. It might also invoke your protective or activist side, pushing you to take action in the name of things you value or hold dear. This week, be careful with the impulses of this nature. Though you may want to arouse your energy to remind you of how to hold your own value in the face of challenges. Ultimately, time is about turning you into yourself, your most refined and present self. But the place where you start when you don't know who you are is always the same place, the inner connection, the place where your wish and your will are aligned. Finding the inner stance, the place where you can lead from your own willingness to see what is true for you in a given moment. Then finding the courage to acknowledge what you have discovered, to stand by what is true for you, whether or not it accords with those around you. Inhale time and stand with your feet on the ground, feeling into where in your body you feel most yourself, most connected, drawing yourself into immediate access to your resources in the moment and accessing your capacity for being still or your capacity for movement. No matter what, you can lead yourself in this way. So I think you can see how this reading truly responded to our inquiry. Not as an answer, since that is something we must each discover for ourselves, but a response, a very precise response about navigating the enormity of responsibility we each face in choosing to take a stand in these times, and in choosing to speak, lead, be from the place of connected integrity and heart. I hope these readings bring you fortitude and inspiration in this regard. And please, don't forget, you are always welcome live on Monday mornings to be a part of creating the reading for the week. The link is always the same, and no matter who or how many show up, we always create a reading together. In the notes, you'll find links for the Spiritual Mentorship Program, which also has the syllabus for the Fourfold Way that I am guiding, and Also links to a couple more posts on Hexagram 54, which was part of our reading this week. And I hope to see you soon.